The first icing technique that I'm going to show you is what I call a classic swirl. So I'm just going to start on the outside edge of the cupcake. I work anti-clockwise. That's just what feels the most comfortable to me. I am right-handed, but I'm going to start working anti-clockwise, and I'm going to follow the line of the paper. It's a little bit of a sort of optical illusion here. You think you are piping to the edge, but you'll often realise you're piping way inside the cake. So if you actually look and try and pipe slightly over the paper edge, about 1 millimetre or so over the edge, you'll find that the icing will just come to the edge of the cake. So I'm going to start doing that. Now I'm putting a twist in the top of the bag, and that twist is going to keep the pressure pushing the icing down towards the nozzle. And I'm holding the nozzle and the bag almost at a right angle to the cake. And I'm going to apply the pressure with my right hand, which is the hand at the top of the bag. And I'm working very, very slowly. And I'm just following the curve of the paper. I'm using the bottom hand to guide the nozzle, and also just to carry on applying a little pressure, but most of the pressure is coming from the top hand. As I'm getting back to where I started, I'm following the curve inside the icing that I've already piped. So that's bringing me back round into the middle. As I come into the middle, I'm pushing down and I'm pulling up to finish. I'm going to decorate the classic swirl because decorating is by far the most fun. So let's put a little pink ball on top. And what have we got here? Sprinkle a little bit of those on. So that's the classic swirl. Again, we're getting the icing ready to come out. We're putting the twist in the top of the bag. So I hold the twist between my thumb and my forefinger, and then I use my hand to apply the pressure and the bottom hand to guide the nozzle. Now, we're starting in the same way. We're starting at the further side away from me, working our way around anti-clockwise. But when we get to where we started, we are then going to push down and pull up very gently because we don't want to make a big sort of peak. But we're just going to do the circle of the outside in one colour, and then we're going to finish. So I'm slowly working around the edge, again holding the nozzle and the bag quite upright. And then when I get to where I started, a gentle push down and pull up. So that's the first stage. Now there's two different ways of filling the centre. We can either pipe a swirl, like we did at the beginning, or we can do something which is just about the easiest thing you can do with a piping bag, which is what I call the iced gem effect, so like on the little biscuits. So if you just hold the nozzle hovering above the cake, so just above the cake, again we're applying the twist, putting the pressure with the top hand, and we're just going to hold it above the cake, just hovering above, and I'm just going to squeeze out the icing. And when I've got the right amount, I'm just going to finish like that. And you can make that centerpiece as small or as large as you want. So just keep pushing out the icing until you're happy with the effect, and then push down and pull up to finish. Very colourful. Okay, so for the third style. Now, for the third style, there's only certain nozzles we can use. I mean, you can experiment, try different nozzles, but this one is the one that is the most effective for this style, and this style is a rose. So it's probably the most technically difficult, but it does have the wow factor, so do bear with it and keep practicing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the nozzle above the centre of the cake. So instead of working from the outside to the inside, which is how we've been working so far, we're working from the inside to the outside. So I'm going to hold the nozzle just hovering above the cake. I'm going to allow some icing to come out, and now I'm going to start working around what I've already piped, kind of cutting in to what I've already iced. And then I'm just going to cut over 1 millimetre or 2 of the outside edge. This is going to give us the effect of a rose petals opening. And then when I'm getting to the end, I'm going to stop applying pressure and just keep tugging the icing around. Just to close the edge here is just to take a flower and push it on like that, and then we can just add a bit of glitter. So this is edible glitter. It's a lot of fun, and we can just sprinkle a little bit of edible glitter over. And that's just going to look like it's a dewy rose. This one is, again, it's using the ice gem technique, but I think it often looks like a sort of 1960s swimming hat. You'll see what I mean when I get started. This is probably the one that you can be the most creative with, because you can use as many different colours as you like. You can vary the size of the ice gem pieces, but you'll see what I mean when I get started. So I'm just going to, again, hold the nozzle, just hovering over the cake, push down and pull up. So this is a really nice nozzle for doing these. It's kind of looks a bit like a sort of seashell effect. So we start off something like that, and then we're just going to fill in the gaps. So let's go crazy. Let's do some pink on this. See what I mean about the 1960s swimming hat? Let's put some little iridescent pieces on. And there are limitless decorations that you can buy. Just trawl the internet. And also there's things that you can use, like the little white chocolate buttons that are covered in hundreds and thousands. I think they used to be called freckles. They look really pretty on top of cakes. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to use things that are actually sold as cake decorations. You can use all sorts of different sweets and edible bits and pieces. So there's something to get started with.